Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. I just created a new playlist on this YouTube channel and it's called Beginners Sewing Projects. So although I usually do Christian content on this channel, I thought I'd do a little bit of a hobby playlist, and my hobby just happens to be sewing. So today for our first project, we're going to be making this phone stand, as you can see here. Now, I first saw a trifold phone stand video on a YouTube channel called Deb's Days, so I want to give her credit for the basic core concept of this project, and I will put a link to her video in the description below. So thank you, Deb's Days, for giving me the idea, and all I did was tweak it here and tweak it there just to make it my own design. So if you're interested in this little phone stand here, stay tuned and I'll show you how to make it. You're going to need two pieces of fabric. The larger piece will be 8 inches by 18 inches and the shorter piece will be 6 inches by 17 inches. You'll need some pieces of thick interfacing. So this is Pellon 71F. 71F is fusible on one side and it's pretty thick. You'll need one 6 by 4 3/4. You'll need 3 6 by 3 inches, and you'll need 3 6 by 3/4 inches. Now what I do, and it's an optional step, everything will work out fine if you just use this, but as an optional step, I also make matching panels for each of these pieces. Only one for this one, because these three will be fused together into one piece. So I only need one piece for the top. And I think using this vinyl does make this a lot sturdier and the panels a little bit stiffer so they won't bow or bend. And I make these plastic pieces out of placemats. Inexpensive placemats you can get at Walmart, Dollar Tree, probably Dollar General. Try to get the ones that are blank on the other side, because with a lighter fabric like this, the pattern will show through, so I'll use the white side face up. So we're going to take the smaller of the two pieces, the 6 by 17, and we're going to fuse the panels onto this fabric with a 1/8 inch gap in between the panels. You're going to start up at the very edge, the raw edge of this fabric, and you're going to work your way down. So just fuse these onto this fabric. These gaps are a little wide, but you get what I mean. Then what you're going to do is you're either going to fuse these three together or you're going to hot glue them together. I hot glue them together. And then what you'll do, there is no exact measurement on where to put it down here, because if you cut yours a little bit wider, a little bit thinner, then that exact measurement won't work out for you. So what you do is, let me get you in close here. So what you're going to do is, when this is all fused together, you're going to lay the thin edge on the fabric up against that last panel. So up against that last panel on the fabric. Then you're going to roll it down. So you already have a gap there that you're going to need. Then you roll it back on the edge and then back down one more time. And that's where you'll fuse it to the fabric. So you can put a little chalk mark there or something and then just fuse it to the fabric there. Okay, well, everything's been fused on, and you can go to the next step, or you can add this additional step, which is completely optional. Take those pieces you cut out from that placemat and hot glue them onto your project. Now what you'll want to do is make sure that, especially on this top panel, you don't put any glue along the top or these two sides, because you don't want to sew through that glue. For the rest of them, it's just the two sides that you need to be concerned about, because you won't be sewing along either of the long edges. So just on this one, it'll be the sides, the two sides and the top you want to steer clear of putting hot glue, and on the rest of them, it's just the two short sides that you'll want to not put any hot glue on. And on this one right here, it doesn't matter because you're not sewing through this piece here. It's just getting rolled up. Okay, whether or not you hot glued these pieces on, which I did just for demonstration purposes, you're going to end up putting this aside. What we're going to do is take the next piece, the larger piece of material, and what I did was, because this will be sitting in here like this, you can see that there's an inch of extra fabric all the way around. So what I did was, I took my ruler and I measured out 1 inch all the way around, because what we're going to do is fold this over a 1/2 inch. If you can do it by eye, that's fine, but I measure. You're going to fold this till it's just at that mark you just made, and you're going to do it on all 3 sides, and you're going to iron that flat. Okay, so now we have this fabric that we've ironed the edges on. We're going to take this panel that we've just completed. I chopped off the extra fabric over there because this fabric's so light it shows through when I fold it over. So we're going to put wrong sides together, use the mark that you made up here, that 1 inch mark, to line up the top. Make sure everything's centered. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this edge, we're going to fold it over onto the top of our project to bind our project. Make sure it doesn't slide because it is a little slippery. We're going to clip it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do that all the way around our project. So what you'll do is, once it's all clipped all the way around, come down here, and because you won't be sewing through this, you can hot glue this put a little bit of hot glue there, just a little dab, fold that over. Come on, there we go. That's just to keep it in place. Oops, sorry about that. That's just to keep it in place until you roll this in place. Little tiny dab. Don't need much. It just needs to hold that edge together. There. You can trim off this if you'd like, which I think I will. It doesn't have to be neat because it's going to be hidden. Alright, now that this piece is completely bound, what we're going to do, except for the bottom edge, that's not bound, we'll take this bottom edge, fold it up once, fold it up twice, make sure it's sitting right on the edge. Look at your ends to make sure that they look good, and they do. Take your glue gun, put some hot glue on the inside, good amount. Make sure you get to the edges. Fold it on. And as you see, in a couple seconds, you've got your bumper piece. Your phone will not slide off that. I don't guarantee it 100%, but my phone hasn't slid off of it. So there you go, you get your bumper piece. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to take this flap. We're going to take a marking instrument first of all, which is my pencil, and you're going to lift this up so you have a groove to run your pencil along. Let me do it this way because I'm left-handed. And then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to lightly make a mark in there. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the next groove, and I'm going to make sure I get down in that groove, and I'm going to make a mark. Then I'm going to do it again for the third panel, and I'm going to make, whoop, well that broke. You get the idea? And what I'm going to do is along those marks, I'm going to sew a line, and I'm going to make sure I back stitch before and after each one. Okay, so now that I've sewn those lines in between the gaps, which I hope you can see, which I hope I didn't move too fast for the camera, we're just going to fold that up, and you're basically good to go. So there's your phone stand. It's not going to slide off that front bumper. That's the finished product. Now if you're having an issue with keeping this closed, it wants to pop open, it just won't lay flat, here's what you can do. Where is it? There it is. Optional piece of Velcro. Now I've added this to other projects. Here's another project. I've added it to another project. It helps keep it closed. You can take it from room to room without it popping open. And if you want to do that, I didn't show it on video, but if you want to do that, it's very easy to add on to your project. All you're going to want to do is when you get to this step, your final step, what you're going to want to do is do one more step, is add this. So you'll take this with the bumper, flip it over. So you want the clean side. You don't want to see this binding. You want the clean side, and the side that the bumper's on pointed away from you. The side you want is this top 3x6 panel. What you're going to do is you're going to find that fold, and you're going to measure 1/4 inch down towards you, and that's where you're going to put the Velcro strip. Now you can put a Velcro strip, Velcro dots, Velcro squares, whatever you want to do to keep it down. I prefer to use a strip. So you'll put one side of your strip here, and which side is that? It's the soft side. So the fuzzy piece you're going to want to put here. Okay? Then what you'll do is once you have that on and stuck down, because I use the adhesive kind. If you don't use adhesive, you can just clip it on the sides. But what you'll need to do is you'll then need to mark with where the front edge and the bottom edge of that strip is. You'll want to do it on both sides. You'll want to do it on the edge, not on the top of the fabric, but on the edge. Because once you fold this over, you'll have the marks on the edge of that panel, and then you'll transfer them to this bottom panel, those marks. Once you've transferred on both sides, once you've transferred those marks to the bottom panel, you can open it up, grab that mark that you made on the edge and bring it over to the top. Grab the mark, bring it over to the top, and you want to do that on both sides. Then you'll know where to put the hook part of your Velcro there. Now, if it sticks, that's cool, but you're going to want to sew around the edge, because that glue is only going to hold after so many times of opening and closing this. Eventually it's going to let go, so what you're going to want to do is take your Velcro and you're going to want to sew along the edge of the Velcro. And you might even, for added security, maybe even draw a line down the middle. So I hope you found this to be a fun little project. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you like the other videos on my channel, please consider subscribing to my channel. It's basically a Christian channel, but I am going to have a sewing project playlist on my channel. So if you want to see all my upcoming content, please ring that notification bell and click all notifications. Thank you for joining me today. God bless. See you later.